Are we gonna play an intro for today's show, Jim? I just want to play some music, something. Happy 420, everybody. I guess not. Here we go. Welcome to Adam versus the Man. It is April 20th, 2021. Don't worry. Just like 2020 had a 420, 2021 has a 420. We made it. Sorry for the little delay getting started here. I don't know what's going on with Jim backstage right now, but we were just on the phone with our co-host team captain awkwardly via CEO CJ in South Dakota while Steven is in jail in Georgia. He was on the phone with CJ, who was on the StreamYard with all of us, connecting to here in Gardena, Northern Arizona. And yet here we are, just starting the show 5 minutes late for 420. Pretty good for a bunch of stoners, actually.
You made it.
And we wanted to have first let's all of our props to Steven out of the way because he's in jail right now and really victim of some bullshit police state stuff. And is it drug war? Not really, but it's same kind of fighting the man, standing up to the bullshit. And apparently, and I don't want to say too much because just from what I heard, we still don't know exactly what his legal circumstances are. But something he said was grossly distorted and misconstrued to be a threat, and that's being used as the excuse to hold him. And is Navy Bronze Star combat veteran, someone I have absolute faith in his adherence to the non-aggression principle. It's a shame that he's locked up right now, denied bail. He did not expect that. So shout out to Jennifer, his fiance on the outside. If you want to get him some money, get in touch with me on Telegram. T.me/Adam versus the Man is our public Telegram channel. You can find me there. And Adam at thefreedomline.com. If anybody in the general public wants to get plugged in, helping Steven out while he's locked up. We've also got the co-host crew that he is the captain of. He's like a mafia boss, running shit from while he's locked up. He's still maintaining his position as the co-host team captain of Adam versus the Man while he's locked up. And we are hoping, it sounds like he's got shit locked on for this bail situation. He's going to be dealing with like 2 weeks of incarceration, bullshit, harassment, and hopefully that's all it is. He gets out on bail within the next week or so. We might be doing a little fundraiser here for him on Adam versus the Man. But right now, if anybody wants to jump up ahead and chip in for his jail phone. Or we're going to be sending them some freedom books in jail and see if those get through. They are banned in jails. Am I committing a crime by sending them a book in jail when I know it's banned because I was told it was banned in jail?
What if you just change the
cover? We'll see what happens. Anything else we need to say about Steven and his situation? Let's bring everybody who's backstage up on screen here for a minute for a toke to kick off the 420 show as a crew. Did you just take my? No, okay, that's. I don't. Where's my? I should have a black lighter that matches this awesome studio bong that we've got here. That's executive producer Jim Freedom in the middle there, and co-host Ed Vallejo today joining us. Is CJ not still backstage? Is there nobody else backstage who wants to join us?
There's Mercy and CJ are both backstage, but they got their cameras and audio off.
Man. It's 420. It's like it's like the equivalent of stoner Christmas. We want to be loving, inclusive, and I don't know, like share green stuff. I don't know.
You guys are celebrating. Today is a day of battle for Miss Me because I still live in an illegal state.
Prohibition territory. Yeah.
Yeah, my sign's gonna say stop. I'm gonna go simple hippie. Stop prohibition. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say.
Whose fault is it that you live there?
I like it here, though, so they're going to have to fight me. Sorry. My family's been here for 8 generations.
3, 2, 1. Happy 420!
There's no audio.
Oh.
Push the button, Jim! The cry of the wild stoner.
Tim, were you really not ready for the 420 show with the?
I think he's too high.
Tim, did you just get too high this morning? I actually didn't smoke weed this morning to be ready smoking weed fresh on the show. That's not true.
That's really
Well, where's our theme song, Jim? We need our theme song.
Yeah.
It's the
Coming?
one
Do I need to pull it up?
No.
You need no. Jim's doing it. Patience is a virtue. You're gonna X your way up. Man, this is like the best 420 show ever. It's just redundant.
Are you trying to get me like incapacitated for?
No, ready?
See,
set,
look, he
go.
X'd himself out.
Can you hear it? What happened?
I think it's what was Adam gonna say
Yeah,
next?
what was Adam going to say next? See, I think his connection is messed up because I played the intro and he didn't see it. I played the intro, right?
You did not play the
guys saw
intro,
the
Jim.
intro?
No, you did not.
Oh.
It was
might
only
be because I have too many tabs lined up. Maybe my computer's not running all the pro stuff because I swear I
think
clicked the button.
How much have you had to smoke today, Jim? Out of journalistic curiosity from somebody who's not getting to smoke today, how much have you smoked today, Jim?
This is my second bowl.
Jim, why is my Dogecoin dropping like it's hot?
I told you because it's giving people the opportunity to buy before the surge.
I bet you at 420, at every time zone, it'll go up, up, and up.
See, I've been focusing on buying as low as I can buy and focusing on quantity.
That's literally what you're supposed to be doing. Yes.
Yeah. So if we go to the moon here by they say like 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the big push is going to start.
Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah,
so
that's like when
420 Central Standard Time.
Like it was meant to be 420 on 420 was going to make it so that they can.
I love that Adam froze, and now I don't know what's going on because he missed the Smoke Weed Everyday song now.
Well, we can always, we could literally just make this a 2-hour episode where we just smoke weed and play that song on loop.
Honestly, that's chaotic.
I mean, I'm sure the audience would appreciate that. I mean,
oh, there's Adam's hand. Oh,
there he is.
Oh, he's frozen again. Nope. He's grounded. He's got it. Nope. Today, smoke weed every day. Oh yeah, I gotta go feed my kid. I'm gonna be the disembodied voice in your head now.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna agree with you've been T-rolled here. The Doge going down is like a coupon or discount. Last chance before it hits the moon.
Oh God bless America.
To the moon. Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm just happy at this point because like I'm comfortable letting it ride because it would have to go all the way back down to like 4 cents for me to start losing the money that I invested. So, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Well, higher than that actually, because I bought more, so it brought my average up. So it'd be higher than that, but still, I got a long way to go before I'm losing money. So I can wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I still have silver. I bought at $4 an ounce.
Nice. How much
I sold
profit
all
is
my
that now?
silver.
Okay, we got them. They're back.
Are they back?
No, he's back. Oh, it was my fault.
Should we just pretend like the show? Should we just pretend that the show didn't start, you guys? We messed it up.
Just click the button.
All right, 3.
Should I remove everybody and play the actual
Ready?
intro this
420 restart. Do you want me to? Here, you guys go.
Ooh.
The Adam's Stoner frozen.
We did it.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna push the button to make it open. Maybe.
Make what
I don't.
open?
Well, aren't we gonna play the button?
We just play the button.
No,
Yeah.
no. The
You didn't
opening,
hear the music?
I did. I mean the opening clip button.
Oh, do you want to replay the intro, Adam?
No,
We were
yeah,
just talking about
Like,
smoke weed every
wait.
day.
Is it this one?
I meant restart the whole show.
Oh, you mean like this?
Hey everybody, welcome to Adam vs. the Man 420 special here with G.I. Mary Jane, coming to you from the Freedom Factory Studios in Gardena. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, we can have our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get everybody from backstage up here on stage just for a minute here, because I do want to read one story to share an important idea for me and how we talk, because I'm not a grammar Nazi. I'm not a stickler about the written word or how people communicate, but for precise communication that is true to what you're trying to communicate. And this Huffington Post article got me thinking about something that I've been doing over the last few years, which is reconditioning myself to say cannabis, to refer to it as cannabis. And I feel like that's its proper name. Now, G.I. Mary Jane over here will tell you we need marijuanas, because nothing rhymes with cannabis for music, but lots of beautiful words rhyme with marijuana. But I still call it pot or weed. But I don't know. In marijuana, like, it's true that it was originally created as a term to demean, to diminish, to associate with Mexico and racism and all the drug war bullshit. It was a term of anti-pot propaganda.
Totally.
But it's a beautiful word. Holy shit! Whoops.
Why can't we take it back?
Whoops.
Take it back.
Like they used a really cool word when they were trying to demonize this beautiful plant, and that has already given us such an interesting morning today. And I was wondering, we have co-host Ed Vallejo, we have producer Jim, we have CEO CJ here, all enthusiastic cannabis users. And I don't know, what do you guys have any thoughts now that we are in the beginning of the middle of the end of the war on drugs? Do words matter? Do we just I kind of like just call it whatever you want. It's such a powerful thing that it can have many names and everyone still knows who she is.
Yeah, I like I get that they tried to make it a bad word and it got turned into a good word. There's probably other words that have followed the same suit, that have been reclaimed, and now we just call them good words. Marijuana, for artistic purposes, that's good enough reason alone, in my opinion. Screw it,
Today's contest is the best slang for weed.
Dig it.
See if we can come up with something new. Yeah, something we never heard before.
Right?
Well, when I'm not in a hurry and it's not too many syllables, I like to refer to it as the devil's lettuce.
Yeah,
just kind
that's
of rolls
one of my
off
favorite.
the tongue and is appropriately ironic given the demonization of the weed.
Well, you guys do know I live in South Dakota, right? Where our current queen is, well, she's on something, and it ain't cannabis. I assure you that much.
Yeah.
And just for the record, her and Joe Jorgensen are going to be in the same room at the same time in the same universe at an event called Freedom Fest. What are they trying to do? Comparatively, what's the conversation they're trying to have here?
Maybe there'll be a cage match.
Because in my opinion, one leans towards freedom, the other one does not.
No, what do you mean leans towards? Joe Jorgensen, if you're going to say that, is freedom, and the other one is paying lip service to it.
No, yeah. The other one would be slavery, Adam. Like having a slave class and treating them like such, and civil asset forfeiture programs, debtors' prisons, violations of due process and constitutional rights. If you were into that thing, right. So. Yeah, that's just kind of my thought. Who comes up with this? Who, in my opinion, comes up with this and goes, Yeah, so let's put these two people in the same room and put them like they're towards the same pedestal, because I've been telling you she's going to run for president. Jo Jorgensen ran for president. So this is a conversation I'm interested in, but how does Kristi Noem walk into this, in my opinion, going, I'm the one.
What are the details of them being in the same room? Are they just speakers on the same stage?
You guys, where's Freedom Fest? Where's Freedom Fest this year?
South Dakota.
Right. So who's the governor of South Dakota?
Freedom Fest, that's normally the big event in Las Vegas, has moved to South Dakota for this year.
Yeah, because it was, just done that way. There's already tickets. The Libertarian Party of South Dakota has been putting out, you get discounts if you're a part of my state. Like, we get $100 off the ticket. I'm like, I'm still not going, but I want to know how they're going to have this conversation, like how do both of them claim to represent freedom when both of their ideas of freedom are so different?
Are you saying that Kristi Noem and Jo Jorgensen are going to be speaking together like a debate or a conversation?
Okay, Jim, so check this out. You're at this event called Freedom Fest. Both of you are women running for president of the United States. You don't think they're going to not talk? Like Jo Jorgensen's just
right, but I mean, is it like a public conversation or?
That's terrible. They're not going to be able to do it. I mean, Adam, I've been to events in South Dakota. I've met Kristi Noem twice. I promise you, events in South Dakota are so small that you can walk right up to these people.
Okay, but
Freedom Fest won't be small.
If Kristi,
but you'll be able to walk up to anybody there.
If Governor Kristi Noem wants to swoop in with her security detail and speak on stage for 30 minutes and then sign autographs in a controlled line, and no one gets more than 10 seconds with her, and then she gets swept out of there by her security detail, then that's how she's going to do it.
Adam, that's not how that works.
That's not how that
literally
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's how it works at Freedom Fest. There's speakers like that at Freedom Fest.
Listen. In politics in Central America of the United States, we have direct physical access to our politicians. They don't really have a security detail per se. Like there are people in the surrounding areas.
She does when she leaves South Dakota, which is a huge thing.
Okay, so you think Jo Jorgensen's going to go confront her in the hallway?
I've confronted her in the hallway. I've confronted her at a flower shop, Adam. I mean,
did she debate you? Did she say anything like?
I asked her. I said, "What is the importance to you of due process?" And she said, "Well, due process is due process, and if you don't have due process, then there's no due process." Which is your statist common answer to an understanding of due process. And again, that was what my question was to her.
Question is, why wouldn't you want to promote this and encourage it and go there and film Jo Jorgensen?
I don't want to pay. Well, listen, if Doge goes to the moon today, Jim, I will go to Freedom Fest.
Okay, fair
so I have this is. Well, I'm going to say one more thing, and then we're changing the topic because this is the worst 420 subject ever, CJ.
Yes.
But
I agree.
420 Freedom subject.
I've spoken at Freedom Fest several times. I know the people who run it, and I like them. They're nice, well-intentioned people. But I don't know that they are not even consciously using their event and have it set up as a way to subvert the Libertarian Party and the Libertarian movement to make it look like a wing of the Republican Party. And engaging with this, and I have mixed feelings about the Libertarian Party, even saying other than, well, we'll have a table there and recruit, or for Libertarians to be more engaged.
That's actually
that certainly has that effect. And it's not like there's a Freedom Fest on the left that makes the same effort to include libertarians. And who are their actual headliners? They make Jo Jorgensen look like a bit speaker and Kristi Noem look like a hero. Mark my words, that's what you're going to see. They're not going to make it. It is designed to fit into the larger Republican narrative about libertarians and the Libertarian Party. And we are not Republicans who smoke pot. We are libertarians who smoke pot. So with that, any good comments so far, Mr.
I'm
Vallejo?
a Republican.
I'm not.
Jimmy says Red Bull.
I'm not. I just can get into Republican events where I get right up next to the main speaker with no security because they abandoned him on the floor, and then I have to escort him out because people are mobbing him for autographs, and I end up being security at a
CJ.
Republican event that time.
If they put Kristi Noem and Joe Jorgensen on a stage together to debate one-on-one, I will eat my words.
Well, again, I don't
try to make that happen.
I don't think it's going to be as much of a debate. They're going to the same event at this point. But let me tell you something. I've always learned in South Dakota politics, you can walk up to anybody. Like I said, Mercedes is right. Mercedes,
did you walk up to Trump?
Mercedes
yeah, but
is.
You're not going to get them to engage unless they agree to engage, like in a debate on stage. Ask him questions and make him look stupid. But Joe Jorgensen's not going to ambush
No. Listen, if Joe Jorgensen could, anybody can send Joe the link to today's show. Let's bring her on and I'll have her explain it. If you're just in the same room in the same event, like your paths are about to cross, I would like to pull them together and be like, "Hi, Kristi, will you come meet Joe Jorgensen with me? You're my governor. Come meet Joe Jorgensen, please." And I'd like to just be a fly and a speck on a wall in history for that conversation should it happen. That's all I'm saying. Like, I want to be there just to hear these two women have a conversation because both of them are going to the same event called Freedom Fest, and I live in South Dakota, and that woman wouldn't know what freedom was if she was staring right at it.
Well, like all things Republican, prepare to be disappointed.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's why I'm not going to Freedom Fest. So if it ain't going to happen, it ain't going to happen.
All right, there you go.
I was having tech issues. Goodbye.
But $100 discounts for people who are members of the Libertarian Party of South Dakota.
How do you pass that up?
Where'd CJ go? Anyway, Joey, any thoughts to mark this 420 or on this? Should we get into this article for a second?
Yeah, we started doing that. Marijuana. Racist.
Which article are we on?
So, this is Huffington Post. The cannabis industry would like you to stop using these pot slang words. Many insiders believe marijuana is a term with racist roots, while others aren't so high on calling it weed. But 420 will give us time to contemplate. Planning on getting some pot to celebrate 420? The cannabis industry is fully down with that. But many insiders have a special request. Don't refer to it as marijuana. Although that's been the most popular name of the plant for a century, cannabis insiders, including Daniel Maida Hayden of Exactioneering.com, an Oregon-based pot brand, think it should be dumped. As he said, quote, any term applied to cannabis other than cannabis is negligent and abusive behavior that we abhor. The term marijuana is a Mexican slur, although it is tolerated when combined with the word medical for the specific purposes, medical marijuana. Like, I wish I had a better male Karen voice, but there is something that, like I said, I've been doing this. I've been trying to use cannabis when referring to it properly, but now I really want to call it marijuana just because Karen doesn't want me to call it marijuana.
Yeah, I think that the media should stop and the police should stop using marijuana, right? Every time you see a police report, it's possession of marijuana, like distribution of marijuana. But that's maybe they should stop because it is
actually.
I don't necessarily want to open this can of worms, but there's this certain word in the minority community that goes great in rap music that we don't use on the street, right? That got taken back and glorified and used to celebrate something that would otherwise have been devastating. Why can't we do the same with the word marijuana? But yeah, the cops, the government, they shouldn't be using that term. They should be using the actual term cannabis.
The term marijuana came into use by William Randolph Hearst when he teamed up with DuPont to make hemp illegal so that they could corner the paper market, because DuPont figured out the chemical process for turning wood pulp into paper. Up until that point, everything, including the vaunted Constitution, was written on hemp.
or parchment, to be fair.
Market control.
But yeah, so hemp was the common product, and it was just knowing that economic history and seeing how that's continued. It really shows a beautiful narrative of human progress, of awareness, and that in the age of the internet, the lies that this is all based on simply can't be sustained.
We can look all this information up. Everybody knows it. All you have to do is wonder. You can ask Google, what's the origin of this word? And I not that I've done it, but I'm sure it would come up with all the truth you need right there. Which, yeah, that begs the question, why is government and police using, why is it the Marijuana Opportunity Act on the federal level? Why are they using that word? They shouldn't be.
Well, hey, before we get any further into the show, Joe, you have an event to tell us about that we're going to later today, right here in Northern Arizona, although right here in Northern Arizona, this time means 2 hours west of us, at the Kins community near Kingman.
The Kins Veterans.
Is that how you refer to that, as near Kingman?
2 hours.
Relatively near Kingman, Arizona, by Arizona standards.
But no,
Golden Valley
Puffin plant. They're having a 3-day event there that's also going to include growing some hemp. Oh yeah, you can. The magic of technology.
Nice.
It's a 3-day event. Today, music. So I'm digging that. Tomorrow, what's it called? The Smugglers Workshop. Is that what it says there? Kind of interested.
People can screenshot their things right now if they want that information.
I'll send it to you.
And that great graphic. But there's 420 Puffin Plant, Kins Community, Arizona.
And then day 3, Earth Day. Everybody is going to get stoned and plant hemp, and that sounds like a fun day.
I'm pretty sure the getting stoned part is happening every day. There,
every day,
right? Yeah. Isn't there a song about that?
About getting high on marijuana?
Like every day.
Like every day. Oh, yeah. There's a song about.
Isn't there a song about? Jim, do you know a song about that? I think there's a song about that.
That's something.
Or I'm not sure. It wasn't on the right part.
Yada da dee.
Yeah, sounds like that.
One and only DWG.
Da 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 da. Come on, karaoke now.
I thought CJ had it clipped already. There was a button. What's going on, man?
We were supposed to do that, but that's not done yet. I'm gonna work on that today, actually.
Are you fucking with me
now? No, that's it. Let's get to our stories. And have you checked the Producer Club? Did our guest get a link? I want to make sure that goes
our
off.
Guest today is supposed to be Aria DiMezzo. I haven't announced it because I don't know if she got plugged in properly. We confirmed by text yesterday, but Aria DiMezzo is one of the Crypto Six, and she is out on bail right now, and wanted to come on yesterday and ended up getting overwhelmed. And so if she doesn't get plugged in today, it's because there's some overwhelming legal situation in her life that's just like, nah, interviews not important. But I'm sure if that's the case, she'll get back to us, and we'll have her on later this week, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just texting by regular text. That's why I was checking my phone, but I didn't see it. Didn't see anything from her. All right,
what
is this? We Are Changed, Connecticut, Hartford. I know you boys are doing upstairs in your bedroom, smoking on that Jimi Hendrix. People go call weed Jimi Hendrix. Was that ever a slang?
I don't know. Jimmy wasn't too monumental in the weed movement.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a strain called Jimi Hendrix.
Right? Smoking that Willie, smoking that Snoop.
Still doesn't sound right.
You'd say more having a smoke with. Yeah, but Jimmy was.
Or smoking like.
I mean, he was definitely appreciated by stoners a lot,
but he wasn't
he wasn't like a cannabis advocate or made music. I mean,
he liked acid more than he liked.
He was more to acid. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I remember back in the 70s, an Afro-American friend of mine once told me, if it's true, Bo, it'll make you confess.
I don't know what that means.
Like it's a truth serum.
But weed or alcohol?
If it's bunk, it won't get you off, and you'll know it. And if it's not bunk and it gets you off, you'll know it.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
With that.
All right. With that, shall we get to our news? We got a big grab bag today. We might have Aria DiMezzo join us. We've got co-host Ed Vallejo watching your comments, getting them up on screen. We'll have GI Mary Jane here somewhere in the studio, getting ready to go to Kins Community later today. So they I guess I should take these off. I don't look too high, do I? I can like pretend like this is a regular show at this point. No, maybe. Yeah. All right. You might not know this about me, but I'm actually half Canuckistani, and I really wanted to share this story yesterday. You see, my mom was born in Montreal and was going to college in the United States, and so she met my dad. Ended up getting U.S. citizenship after having a green card through marriage for many years, and it was funny. I went through the process with her, not like with her through the process, but when she was going through the process, she kept me, informed about it, and had to pass the citizenship test. And it truly is funny that if you are a Canadian applying for American citizenship, you have to know more about American civics than you learn in American high school. Like there's an actual test, and it's really funny, like what they make you know about American history that are the iconic things that government needs you to know. So Westphalian Times, Canadians signal for help at U.S.-Canada border using lights to Morse code SOS and an upside down flag. So this story really tickled me because I was like, wait, yeah, the upside down flag is not just U.S. flag code as a sign of distress. It's universal. On Saturday, April 17, a group of Canadians in Niagara Falls, Ontario, signaled for help at the U.S.-Canada border using lights to Morse code SOS and an upside down Canadian flag after the Ontario government announced an extension of the stay-at-home order and additional strict health measures. Canadians in Niagara Falls, Ontario are signaling for help at the U.S.-Canada border tonight using lights to Morse code SOS and an upside-down Canadian flag. An upside-down flag is a universal signal of distress. The man in the video says, "We are hostages in our province now." The Facebook Live showed an upside-down Canadian flag directed to the U.S. border to signal distress. An upside-down flag is a universal signal of distress. Sorry, this is repetitive. So this is really interesting. For about 3 minutes, the group of about 50 or more individuals flashed their lights on and off to signal SOS at the U.S.-Canada border. The man in the video says the police in Canada are not upholding their oath to protect and defend our fundamental rights and freedoms, so we are letting our neighbors know about it. The internet still works in Canada. Do they have internet in Canada? Did they get the? Yeah, they got the internet in Canada. I haven't heard much from that. I mean, I'm an American. I don't really care about Canada. So they must know. I mean, smoke signals. Now they're doing upside down flags and SOS. At least it's like it's progress from that. But you would think that the Royal Canadian Mounted Yachtsmen would at least be able to put some of this tyranny at bay, but apparently, like most law enforcement, they're failing their people. Recently, the Ontario government announced an extension of the stay-at-home order and strict new health measures. On April 16, the government of Ontario initially announced strict new measures, which included new provincial police powers. All outdoor gatherings with people outside your household will be banned. Playgrounds closed. Nearly all outdoor recreational activities will be restricted. Places of worship, funerals, and weddings will have a capacity limit of 10 people. Non-essential construction will be halted. Border checks will be introduced at the Quebec and Manitoba borders. Essential retail locations will be limited to 25% capacity, among many other new restrictions. Initially, the government of Ontario said that police would be given the authority to ask anyone outside or in a car why they are not at home for the mandated stay-at-home order, and the police may ask for their address. However, after fierce criticism of the new rules, some rules were amended on Saturday, April 17. Now, police will only be able to stop an individual who they have reason to believe are attending an organized public event or social gathering. Wow. Yeah. Additionally, rules ordering the closure of playgrounds are going to be amended to keep playgrounds open. However, as of now, other recreational activities and facilities will remain closed. Now, I know this is going back to the virus which shall not be named since we're containing it on this show, but it's important to note that in these times, as we have covered over the last year, the experience of the last year has been very checkered from country to country. That in places with, and Canada is not exactly a police state, but they definitely have a different kind of relationship with their government than here in the United States. Let's put it mildly. But right now, even just in Canada, nationally, it is a whole other experience than here in the United States. Meanwhile, in the United States, we're talking about electing celebrities to office. Craig, we're going to build a northern wall and make Canada pay for it. Yeah, no, Canada's building a wall to keep Americans out, I think, at this point. But no, our next story from Dallas News, Matthew McConaughey may be a viable candidate for Texas governor, poll shows actor ahead of Abbott. McConaughey leads Governor Greg Abbott 45% to 33%, but his middle-of-the-road appeal may not open an easy path for him to November's finale, experts warn. Well, if he's going to rock the boat, they're going to find a way to keep him out. Matthew McConaughey commands more support to be Texas's next governor than incumbent Greg Abbott, according to a poll released Sunday by the Dallas Morning News and the University of Texas at Tyler. Now, there's got to be a huge backstory to how this got set up in the first place and how McConaughey is positioning himself or being positioned for this. We'll see when that comes out. However, the film actor and political newcomer could hit potholes in either major party's primary if he enters next year's governor race, the poll found. For months, McConaughey had teased political pundits and TV talk show hosts with musings that he might enter politics in his home state. If we were to take the plunge and run for governor, the poll found 45% of Texas registered voters would vote for McConaughey, 33% for Abbott, 22% for someone else. His double-digit lead over the two-term Republican incumbent is significant. The poll surveyed 1,126 registered voters as a margin of sampling error, blah, 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 blah. But it's 56% of Republicans said they'd vote for Abbott compared with only 30% for McConaughey. Democrats broke 66 to 8% for McConaughey. Independents 44 to 28%. So twice as many Democratic primary voters, 51%, said they wanted a progressive candidate for governor than wanted a centrist. So McConaughey has suggested he's more of a moderate, but the idea that he could win with a Democratic primary with a start like this, I don't think that would be a problem for him. So exciting preview of things to come in Texas. From Daily Mail, 2 die in Texas after Tesla on autopilot with no one in driving seat crashes into tree and starts massive 4-hour fire that took 32,000 gallons of water to extinguish. This is, I mean, I don't want to demean this in any way, but let's just keep this in perspective, right? One, this is not necessary. This is a product. If people were held properly liable for their actions, we would be able to advance to self-flying cars by now with all the appropriate safety measures and development of technology to be reliable enough. As Jim is showing on screen here, that is the burned out hull of the vehicle itself. And as Jim asked in the Producers Club yesterday, what could cause the car to burn out like this? And apparently it's the batteries. And in this case, the 2019 Tesla Model S slammed into a tree in Carlton Woods at 11:25 p.m. Saturday. Constable Mark Herman said no one was driving at the time of the accident. Vehicle was moving high speed when it failed to negotiate a cul-de-sac turn. 2 men died after a Tesla on autopilot with no one driving crashed into a tree in Houston before starting a huge fire that took 32,000 gallons of water to extinguish. The fully electric 2019 Tesla Model S slammed into the tree in Carlton Woods at around 11:25 before bursting into flames with the passengers inside. Harris County Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman said an investigation found that no one was driving when the accident happened, with one man sitting in the passenger seat at the front and the second sitting in the back. If that's the case, so someone was sitting in the passenger seat and someone in the back, no one was in the driver's seat, which is not normally the case, right? Normally someone's in the driver's seat with the autopilot running, so that if autopilot fails, at least even if they're asleep, they notice at least they have a chance to do something. I think you're not supposed to sleep even with autopilot on, right? But because it's not at that level of reliability yet, as far as I know. Now, 2 people die in an accident, absolutely a tragedy. Just bear in mind, it's 40,000 Americans roughly who die every year on America's streets. Now, the thing about the battery burning up, that is seriously, problematic, let's just say. I mean, because it's not just I assume that in this case, that the drivers were probably knocked out, and then the vehicle continued to burn. Like it didn't suddenly burst into flames. What killed them, or while the fire may have killed them, they may have died in the impact, in the accident. I mean, if you look at the photograph here, it is fairly well. I mean, I'd say wrapped around a tree literally, but front end wrapped around the tree, pretty solidly embedded. Like it looks like the tree is embedded up to the firewall, at least through the engine compartment, or I guess it's, I don't even know if that's where the engine is on this model. I hate to admit it, but if you've seen the documentary "Who Killed the Electric Car," if you haven't, I highly recommend it. You know that there's huge government intervention in this with the intellectual property racket, and who knows with regulations and what else. But while this is a tragedy, I hope it doesn't in any way slow progress towards safer vehicles, safer self-driving alternative energy fuel vehicles, because that would be it's a long overdue boon for humanity on the horizon with technology we already have that just needs to be implemented. Rob B. Plastic go-kart. That's not a slang term for weed, is it? Summit.news. China launches new app allowing citizens to report others for expressing mistaken opinions. There have been a number of stories like this over the past year. This is from Paul Joseph Watson, who we know from InfoWars, right? And I don't know if that's where I originally wrote this, but this is being posted on Summit News. And there have been a number of stories like this over the last year with citizenship reputation ranking programs in China. I mean, even like the one-child policy, I remember that became a thing when I was a kid. And now I feel like I need to look this up. But one-child policy has been around for quite a while in China. And the mainstream media in the United States kind of made sure that everybody knew that. I feel like that's not so much the case today with the new phenomena in China of the apps and digital tracking, the Great Firewall of China. I think most Americans don't have an adequate awareness that the Chinese government is doing something on the next scale of control, even compared to what the United States government is doing in terms of controlling the internet and freedom of speech. So this latest one is China launches new app allowing citizens to report others for expressing mistaken opinions. Yeah, China's communist government has launched a new app that encourages citizens to report dissidents for expressing mistaken opinions on the internet. The new platform will target anyone who criticizes the dictatorship's ruling CCP, disputes the official version of the country's history, or engages in misinformation. By contrast, in the United States, the government just buys off Google, Alphabet, YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, and uses them to control and censor people like us who put out misinformation on COVID, right? The new website and app was proudly unveiled by China's Cyberspace Administration of China, CAC, with authorities calling on users to play an active role in helping to identify malicious people distorting facts and confusing others. For a while now, some people with ulterior motives have spread historically nihilistically false statements online, maliciously distorting, slandering, and denying party, national, and military history in an attempt to confuse people's thinking. We hope that most internet users will play an active role in supervising society and enthusiastically report harmful information. As Didi Rankovic notes, it's also unsurprising because it comes ahead of the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Party, when messages and narratives will have to be kept particularly clean. China already operates an onerous social credit score system that bans people from using transportation and engaging in other basic functions of society if they commit minor infractions like jaywalking or buying too much junk food. Yeah. And like when we talk about China and the United States, like when we talk about China so much under Trump, I don't think this is given adequate airtime. I don't know. You would think, right, that the United States government or the forces within it that want it to be more controlling would say, hey, look at China, look how controlling they're being. What we're doing is nothing, right? Look how free you are, that they would try to take credit for that. But maybe they don't want to be compared, or they don't want to be even seen. They don't want this issue examined at all. When China is getting away with this, just the raising of this idea would raise the consciousness about this kind of control and censorship and lead people in the other direction. But more importantly, just in understanding the world, what we kind of take for granted here and the control that we experience as US citizens. And it's a certain way that blinders are put on us to what's going on in the world in such a way that allows the military industrial complex, the banking interests, to get away with what they do in the name of the American government or protecting American interests or American security abroad and all of that nonsense, which is really just corporate expansionism and imperialism. And the rest of the world experiences a whole other kind of direct tyranny by comparison. Not the whole rest of the world, of course, but 1 billion people in China at least experience this particular flavor of it. Now, how long is that going to last? I hope not very long. I have to think, and I would, this is like, I would love to get my book translated into, well, we have it translated into the Chinese, but to get it printed and distributed in China. Our printers, when we self-published the book Freedom, our printers in China, I asked them, like, I got it translated into Chinese and sent it to the printers. And I said, you know, would you think we could distribute this in China? They said, no, would not be allowed. Just, they knew. All right, total change in gears. Daily Beast, top oath keeper, says active duty cops are training militia members for civil war. The far-right paramilitary, the Oath Keepers, is home to active duty law enforcement officers who are training up other members to prepare for civil war, according to one of the group's top figures. CBS News 60 Minutes profiled the increasingly notorious militia on Sunday night, and one of its leaders from Arizona, Jim Arroyo, spoke openly about the close involvement of police officers. Our guys are very experienced, said Arroyo. We have active duty law enforcement in our organization that are helping to train us. We can blend in with our law enforcement, and in fact, in a lot of cases, our training is much more advanced because of our military backgrounds. Arroyo's statement was backed up by Havid Ali, an ex-National Security Council senior director and FBI counterterrorism official, who said the Oath Keepers are a unique and challenging threat to the U.S. because a large percentage of tactical training and operational experience in either the military or law enforcement. That at least gives them a capability that a lot of other people in this far-right space don't have. Dozens of members have been implicated in the storming of the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection in Washington. And I mean, as problematic as the Oath Keepers are in general, this is a really good sign that the Praetorian Guard, so to speak, the trigger pullers, the enforcement class of government, is not universally going ahead. There's another story we saw from the Drudge Report today that we passed on bringing up in the stack about the shortage of pilot recruits for the Air Force. Generally a long-term problem for the military as well, having to relax standards for physical fitness and accept overweight recruits over the past few years. So this is a good sign. I mean, I hope we all take encouragement from seeing, glitches in the matrix, perhaps. New York Post, James O'Keefe of Project Veritas, excuse me, vows right. It's like Verita if you're speaking Latin and trying to sound snobby, right? Project Veritas, that's how he says it. Vows revenge on. We've tried to get James O'Keefe on. We should send him another invite. James O'Keefe of Project Veritas vows revenge on CNN and Twitter after ban. James O'Keefe of Project Veritas said a day after being permanently banned from Twitter, says he is preparing to launch a legal broadside against big tech and the mainstream media. We're going to sue CNN and we're going to sue Twitter, the combative 36-year-old conservative activist and guerrilla journalist told the Post during a Friday interview at his bunker-like headquarters on a nondescript street in Mamaroneck. Is that how you say that? Mamaroneck? We're going to sue a bunch of other people and we'll represent other people suing these organizations and represent a People's Defamation Defense Fund under the country's libel laws, something that no one's ever done before. Twitter said it banned O'Keefe because he allegedly used multiple fake accounts to boost his following and tried to artificially amplify or disrupt conversations through the use of multiple accounts. O'Keefe denies ever using fake accounts. He said he got the boot because of an embarrassing expose on CNN he released Wednesday showing secretly recorded video of a CNN director, Charles Chester, boasting that his network produced propaganda aimed at defeating President Trump in the 2020 election. Chester was also caught on tape saying CNN played up the COVID-19 death toll for rating. Project Veritas dropped another video Thursday in which Chester admitted the network is trying to help Black Lives Matter. O'Keefe's ouster from Twitter Thursday came just after millions worldwide found they were unable to share a New York Post story about Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Concoulers, a self-identified Marxist, purchasing 4 high-end homes with a total value of $3.2 million. The story was blocked from circulation on Facebook and Instagram. Prior to the 2020 election, Twitter and Facebook also blocked the Post expose of emails found on Hunter Biden's laptop that had been left at a Delaware repair shop. There are enough news stories now too that are getting buried that just you have to go, we don't trust you anymore. And the CNN, so there was the related story that we missed from just a few days ago. CNN staffer tells Project Veritas Network played up COVID death toll for ratings. So yeah, I mean, it's stuff that you have to go. If a lot of people hear this who are plugged into the mainstream narrative and don't even accept it. But if you do and you have to adjust your worldview based on this awareness, that's a pretty major adjustment. And I think O'Keefe deserves a lot of credit for exposing a lot of hypocrisy that way. Reuters next from Europe, protests planned across Russia to save Navalny's life as West warns Putin. Allies of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny unveiled plans on Sunday for what they hope will be the largest protests in modern Russian history on Wednesday, as Washington warned Russia he would pay a price if he died in jail from his hunger strike. The protest date was brought forward after a medical trade union with ties to Navalny said on Saturday he was in a critical condition, citing medical tests which it said showed that Navalny's kidneys could soon fail, which could lead to cardiac arrest. Also from Russia, about the Russian military buildup, and I would remind you, I don't think this is going to conflict. I don't think the critical motivational understanding to support armed conflict is there. But Reuters has this headline from yesterday: Russian military buildup near Ukraine numbers more than 150,000 troops, EU's Borrell says. Russia has concentrated more than 150,000 troops on Ukraine's border and annexed Crimea. The EU's top diplomat, Joseph Borrell, said on Monday after EU foreign ministers were briefed by Ukraine's foreign minister. It is more than 150,000 Russian troops massing on the Ukrainian borders and in Crimea. The risk of further escalation is evident. All right, moving on. Tech Dirt. Small Idaho ISP punishes Twitter and Facebook censorship by blocking access to them entirely. Interesting story. The small Idaho ISP by the name of Your T1 Wi-Fi has decided to punish Twitter and Facebook for perceived censorship by censoring them. In an email to subscribers posted, I'm like, is this really going to work? In a letter to Twitter, the company claims it will be blocking customer access to both websites by default moving forward. To access the websites, users apparently will need to contact the company to be added to a whitelist. So it's not. It's just putting up it's sort of.
You have to get your papers.
No. It's like what they're doing to us when they take us out of their feed and put COVID links underneath all of our stuff. But you're going to have to be whitelisted for, like, it's just making things inconvenient for customers who aren't convinced that they shouldn't use Twitter and Facebook. Anyway, we're an hour into the show. It's 9 o'clock here, and it looks like Aria isn't joining us. So I might just cut this show short today since we just have another big grab bag. Nothing super urgent. Let's get Ed back on screen here. Ed Vallejo, what do we have for comments today? Ed,
Sir?
you got
Sure.
a comment? You got comment contest entries for terms for cannabis?
All kinds of entries. The best one I like so far was Colette Allen from Facebook when she called it Nature's Miracle.
All right. I think Colette Allen is already a member of the Producers Club now.
Oh, is she?
I believe so.
Well, I got all kinds of stuff in here. The original Wacky Tobacco. I mean,
I do enjoy that.
Sticky Icky. I like Sticky Icky.
But icky means icky is negative. Like that's.
But marijuana is too. That's the argument.
No, icky. Like we use the word icky to say, "Ooh, that's icky." I mean, that's how I talk.
Yeah, I don't agree with the use of dank. It's not a big thing for me, I guess. I'm old school.
Ganja, that's boring.
I'm used to. You got any?
All right. Well, any final thoughts today? We'll do a short show for 420,
Ed. Prayers go out to Stephen. That's all I
Absolutely.
can say. Prayers go out to Stephen. Any man that the man is holding in a cage, come on. Let's back this guy. Let's throw some money in the pot, people. This guy's behind jail. Why? Because he held church. Oh, come on.
All right. Thank you very much, Ed, for co-hosting today. Jim, take us home with the promos.
What's going on? Let me prep the promos. I didn't, we're out of here. Okay. All right. No problem. We can do this. So join the conversation. T.me/Adam versus the man. You can continue to drop funny weed names if you want to as the subject of the show to try to earn access into the private producers club if you like. The private producers club can just be purchased your way through if you want to. You can go to adamversustheman.com like you see at the bottom of the screen. Click on the Patreon. $1, $5, $10, or even $50 a month. $10 a month gets you access into that private producers club. After you're a member, you can go back to the adamversustheman.com and shop the shop. Everybody gets 15% off. Everybody that's a Producers Club member or a better patron gets 15% off and free shipping from everything in the store. Then you can click on the link for the Cigar Federation, our affiliate program that offers 10% off for customers that come from our show using the promo code ADAM10. That's not the right button. So do that. Cigar Federation, ADAM10 promo code gets you 10% off. After that, we missed our guest today. She must be doing something. That's why you should be visiting the crypto6.com to get them all helped out, because their lives are hectic right now because of the state. We all know the story. So go to the crypto6.com, the crypto and the number 6.com, and that's going to get you to where you can help those guys out. And lastly, oh, sorry, two more things. One, Instagram at the Garden of Freedom has a bunch of great pictures and videos of everything that Adam's got going on up there in Gardenia. Be sure to check that out. And lastly, if you want to be more like Adam and Gardenia up there and get yourself off grid, you can do so with the knowledge you gain from gogreenenergyonline.com. So check out that website, check out all their resources on solar, micro wind, zero energy, all their stuff. Their contact information is right on the side. Give them a call, give them a look. Good times. Go Green Energy Online. There we go.
All right, happy 420, y'all. One more hit for the road. Do you have it ready this time, Jim? Is there music? Do we have music? All right.
I closed that. Sorry, there's no smoke weed every day. I'll give it to you a cappella today. That's how we close out 420.
All right, well, peace and love, y'all. Choose happiness and be excellent to each other.